Greetings and welcome back to the misadventures of Grand Admiral Dante. Definitely ready to take the next step now. It's only been a couple days since the last episode, but pretty much immediately after that concluded, the Darksland seemed to resume normal operations. They went and they flew back off, and I think this fleet is just passing through. They're not dancing around with us anymore. We're able to get a bunch more done the last couple days in the weapons factories. We actually have all of the ones ordered up now that I want, and even some more money left to spend for this particular day. So we're scaling up the Meson guns as we have continued to do. But then also, I want to switch now to the equipment. We have plenty of spaceship factories already, the extra ones that we had been gradually building for the colonization ships. But the equipment side, we're going to want more. It'll probably need 7 or so to basically equalize and get caught up with where we are on the weapons factories and balance those out. I'm actually going to take that up to 10, just to make sure that we've got a little bit of extra that we don't run short. Now, I'm going to get rid of all of these, because these are the old tech from back in Captain's rank. And we're going to want heavy cargo pods. That's what we're going to want first. I'm going to throw up a couple of these today. And then we're also going to want these super heavy shields eventually. And the Shocker ECM. Those are the 3 items that we need from the equipment section. And then, pretty good place to start with these, I think, is that actually a lot of the Garthog planets do not have the equipment factories. They came with spaceship and weapons factories often, but not so much the equipment ones. So if I plop a couple of these down, and let's take one more. At 20,000 each. These should relieve any of those issues. And then, of course, going forward, then I'll probably be looking at getting some more of those the next day or two. Well, after a really quiet day on the expenses front, we made a lot of good progress. Ready to start cranking some things out here on the 23rd. I got the rest of the equipment factories up, so all of the factories I want are now in place. I did neglect to add on the hyperdrives here on the equipment side, although that's not a huge miss because we only need a few of them. We only need them for the flagships. The cruisers come with Mark V hyperdrives standard. So I'm going to want 3 of these eventually after the heavy cargo pods are finished. And then we are also, on the spaceship side, we're going to begin building now the advanced spy satellites, and we need to know where the enemies are, who controls what planets, and then we can properly send out our fleets when we're ready to attack. I've also turned on maxing out now our research. The Kraken flagship is going to need to finish up as soon as I can, which is still, from this point, it's still going to take it over 4 more days. But while that is going on, I'm going to try to stockpile some cash because these are not cheap. So I'm going to want to build a couple of these to pair with the Thorin for the kernel of our first fleet. And need a bankroll to do that. So in the meantime, trying to stockpile that cash, I am still, for now, I'll switch over as soon as I can. But for now, I am still working on stockpiling the Meson guns, as that continues to be the cheapest way to utilize all our factories. Skipping forward a few days, December 27th, 7:10 a.m., a key point in time, as we have finished all of the research. The Kraken flagship is now available. And we have been building quite a bit in the factories. So we've got the advanced spy satellites. We don't have as many as we need, but 44 isn't bad. On the equipment side, we've got 1 super heavy shield, a couple more coming, 1 of the Shocker ECM, a couple more coming, done with the cargo pods, done with the hyperdrives. And then on the weapons side, obviously, we got plenty of Meson guns for those initial set of flagships. We've got all of the laser weapons that we're going to need. We have some bombs ready to go into them. And then we are looking at tanks. We've got 21 of the Behemoth and 9 of the heavy rocket sleds. Almost done with the heavy rocket sleds. Some more to go on the Behemoth tanks, but we're closing in on it. Now, in order to get the cash that we need to build these flagships right away, and I was planning on doing this anyway at this point, what we're going to do is something that's likely to concern the government. We are going to take a hatchet to every single research facility we have, because we don't need them anymore. So we're just going to go blow them all up. But of course, that just might concern the civilian authorities a tad. So let's... Oh, we don't have any there. I have to keep cycling through these till I find some that we can actually get rid of. There we go. Let's slide down to the colony. And this is going to be, you know, a bit of a process here to just sort of go through everything. But hey, here's one. Boing. There's 10,000 credits for us. Excellent. Exterior 17, do you have one? You do not. Ah, there's a military one here. Where is that one hiding? We must blow it up, wherever it is. There it is. Military Development Center. So let's see how much money we can get by getting rid of all of these. Well, there's a nice little chunk of change. Nearly 400,000 credits. It started with just under 10,000, and we're up to that amount. So we are going to use some of that right away, of course. These are 230,000 each. They're the most expensive item we can actually build, since we can't build the Leviathan class. And each one of these will take us nearly 2 days, which really, in retrospect, is not actually that long. But we're going to focus all of our effort on that until we get a couple of them rolling. Now, we're not actually done here, because I want to begin. I could wait a little bit longer, but I might as well do it now. They aren't that easy to detect. I want to take a look around. I want to see what's going on in this galaxy. Where are we going to want to send our ships? So let's jump back out to the star map and see how these work, the advanced spy satellites. And I could go anywhere in the galaxy. Obviously, we know the Darksland are up around the upper area. I would like to just sort of eliminate all of the lower areas of the galaxy and sort of work my way up. And let's also take a look at some of the other styles of buildings while we are down here. Okay, pretty similar approach. In terms of the cutscene showing just the satellite moving up on the planet, we have the Accom Empire on a Morgath planet. So this is one of the former Morgath who no longer really exist as an empire. We can take a look at them. They've got this sort of whitish, you know, flowing type of architecture that's going on here. Almost organic. And we can see fusion projectors. Now, we can't see any ground vehicles, but we can see what all of their buildings are on the planet. It gives us that additional bit of intelligence. And of course, we won't need to bother with this system at all, because that's not Darksland. This one is, though. More Morgath, but this one, you know, same design. But this belongs to the Darksland, and we will want to hit this one. It doesn't have any orbital defenses. We'll be able to see those here if they were. So that should be ripe for the picking, in theory. Let's see more further on what we have once we reveal more of the picture. So only colony names on this view to make it not any more cluttered than it has to be. We can see the green of the Darksland, a nice ribbon throughout here. They definitely hit that area fairly well. Down below here, they don't have that much. And of course, we don't know who the gray ones are up here until we get more spy satellites. But we've seen the Morgath. Let's see who else we can possibly take a look at. Like, this lower middle part is mostly Sullips. And they've got, you know, these arcologies are the greenish weird bit here. You know, the hospital has this bluish sort of window oval going on there. So there's a lot of rounding on their buildings in kind of a unique way there. Their guns, like the plasma projector, appear to be a bit understated. And I'm not sure what all this is going on over there on the nuclear plant. It almost looks like the food factory is trying to have an engine over here on this end. At least that's the impression that I get from it. So that is the Solips. Ecoleps down here in the lower right. Very long-barreled guns. You can see a lot of their images here, to me, sort of evoke almost like a missile silo type of design. Colony hub, very much a dome idea. Spaceport there. Fortress, etc. Alright, who's next? Well, what's this here? Oh, that's humans. Free Nation Society. They're sort of in this general area of the galaxy. That's the part, like, humanity was over here. And long ago, the Free Nation Society broke off from that zone. And obviously this looks very familiar because it's the same type of buildings. Now they got the plasma projector in the fortress we haven't seen before. Phase telescope we haven't seen before. But, you know, the other buildings, yep, they're the same ones that we made because it's the same race. And there's Association of Free Traders over here. I think that's the only... Well, they've got something down here. Yep, we got one there too. They actually took over a Morgath planet. So our allies were fighting each other. That's not good. But not a lot of them. They're not a major player as we have previously observed. How about the Accoms? What have they seen? I'm kind of blocky here, especially with the colony hubs. And like the nuclear plant here, I've got all these opening parts, like they didn't bother putting a proper roof on them. This is definitely a very unique aesthetic compared to the other races. Blocky again on the arcologies. It's... I don't know if I like it or if I don't like it. I'm ambivalent towards this one. This nuclear plants just bother me for some reason. Anyway. And I think the rest of these are Accoms, some of them taken over by the Darksland, some of them not. Solips even took over a Accom world. Interesting. Move up a little further. Most of these we don't have explored. Over here, these are actually native Darksland worlds. Or at least worlds they didn't capture from someone else. They're not really native, because they're not native to this galaxy at all. So what do they look like? I do get the sense of these that they are a little more modern in general, like particularly with... I'm not sure exactly what the top of that nuclear plant is trying to do. They got a lot of pointy designs near the top. Of course, very big barrels on their guns. They want you to know they mean business. Food factory, got the pointy designs there as well on the arcology, etc. Colony hub here, but they do seem to be a little bit more sophisticated and a little more modern than the other races, as you might expect. And I don't even know what that weapons factory is. Anyway, if you have any opinions on the, different designs, the aesthetics so far, architectural style, let me know. But I think that's all we can show for now until we get some more satellites. We know that there's the Dribs and possibly others out there that we have not yet taken a look at. From here, we need to, obviously, finish our flagships, equip them, and start trying to hit some of the lesser defended Darksland colonies while we expand our knowledge of the rest of the galaxy. We have a handle on most of it now. The Thorin, don't have the ships being displayed at the moment, but the Thorin is right in this area. And we're going to need to put up a couple more military spaceports in order to free it up to join in the attack. So there's definitely some more steps that have to be taken before we're ready to go on the offensive at all, but we're getting close. It's been several days since we were attacked at all, but we finally did get another one. It seems the other races are sort of in a scrum, more worried about each other than they are about us. But the Darksland went after Center 11 here, And this is worth seeing because of something new that they're doing. So they have the usual arrangement of everything. Of course, we expect our fighter to perish. But watch the missile. Oh, the nice little explosions around it. That is what the multi-headed missile, the best missile in the game, does. So we still can see them gradually upgrading their abilities as we move forward. December 30th, midday. Another one of those important moments as we have the Kraken flagships finished. Now this Accom fleet over here, I was really happy with them for recapturing Center 2, but now they're headed for Centronome and I'm less happy with them. Gonna have to chase them away. But let's give the Thorin its dance partners here and send it off for the first time. So first of all, I'm gonna wanna rename this. I'm just gonna call it the First Strike Fleet. There we go. And let's add these in. Let's get to know our new Kraken toys. Now, the Anvil 2, Red Star 2, again, we've run out of names. But these look bigger than the Thorin, and they have impressive capabilities as well. We're going to get rid of the neutron guns and add in the Meson. We got 10 of those there. The 20 bombs here is a big advantage that the Krakens have. Very nice capacity on that. Get rid of this cargo pod and add a heavy one. And here they come with some Meson guns, so we'll just want to top that off. We don't need these missiles. We've built a few multi-headed missiles. Not going to be deploying any of that just yet, because we're not doing any fleet engagements. Phased array radar is standard, which is nice. That's the best one. It has the same range as a Hubble 2 satellite. It's not bad at all. Okay, heavy shields. You can go. Bring in the super heavy. Of course, we're going to sell what gear we're not using here. Switch out the Fuzzbox ECM that is standard for a shocker. Top off the laser weapons. And give you the Hyperdrive. Hyperdrive 4 isn't bad. Hyperdrive 5, obviously, better. So, let's give the Red Star then the exact same treatment across the board. So, a total of 20 Meson guns, 20 bombs, the best of everything else. 14 missiles can be carried. Let's get you in there. And 20 of the pulse lasers. So let's keep those amounts in mind as we compare and contrast then with our Thorin. We don't need that radar. I think having a better radar on each of the other flagships would make that one expendable. Let's sell that. Okay, and there's our shocker. 24 lasers. So it's not a big difference, but they got 20% more, 24 compared to 20 on the Kraken. And each of these holds 11 guns, so it's got 22 compared to 20 of the Meson gun. So it's slightly stronger in each of those types of regards. Now the missiles actually slightly lower, 12 compared to 14. The bombs is worse, much worse, 4 compared to 20. So again, that's a big advantage for the Kraken design. Shields are the same. As far as I know, I don't use them, but as far as I know, the bombs, only the Thorin can use the virus bombs. But I definitely don't think this Leviathan, even if we could build it, would it be worth the $1 million compared to 230,000 for the Kraken? Their capabilities are very similar. Now, there is one additional bonus, and that is that the Thorin Leviathan class can carry more ground vehicles. So that's significant as well. It's not a huge difference. But they can carry 10 compared to 8, then you add the heavy cargo pods, you get a bunch more on each. So altogether, we are going to be able to put almost 50 ground vehicles in this fleet. And that's not nothing. 10 rocket sleds. And all of these BMOS. There we go. So 15 total for each of these and 17 for the Thorin is how that works out with the heavy cargo pod engaged. So now the First Strike fleet is ready to go on the attack, and of course we are going to come down here to Exterior 3, and in the next episode we will be commencing with that battle. But there are a couple of things to look at first. One is I actually want to add a fighter. And it's actually our last one. Now the reason is I want to have a fighter like maintain station on that planet to intercept any attackers. In case the Darksland get irritated with us capturing their planet, come back, whatever. While we build up our military spaceport there and Hubble and get permanently set. So that's going to be important. Then I also want to adjust what we're spending because we're still working our way through all of the normal things that we're building. I am going to want to replace bombs soon. I believe that when we attack, we're going to need to replace a lot more bombs than we are ground vehicles or anything else. That's going to be the difficulty dealing with the planetary defenses. To a degree, it's not as much of an issue as it was against the Garthog, but their planetary defenses still will be an obstacle. But we do want to, wrong screen, head over and build some new ships and whatnot. Because I'm going to want to get, we're actually out of fighters, I want to build a few of the small ones. And I believe this is the first time in the game I've actually built fighters. And I won't be building many. I just want to have enough to have a couple with the fleet, a couple for intercept duty, and that's going to be it. So we will plop down 3 of you. With each attack that we do, we are also going to move this back down to 50. We're going to want to have a Hubble that goes with there. And although I'm not going to be building them yet, let's go ahead and throw the cruiser up there, have it ready. So I think those are going to be the items that we need now. We'll be focusing on more spy satellites, of course. We've lost about 5 or 6 of them. So most of them have stayed intact, but we are going to need to replace those from time to time. So there's still going to be plenty of building going on here. But it's going to be a balancing act that continues. What do we need to build and when as we commence hostilities? So now that you are fully ready with your fighter, let's head down there. So when we return, the war, the Great Galactic War, the final Galactic War, really begins on our side. It's been waged by the other races for quite a long time, but now we are going to get involved and start fighting back. So I'm really looking forward to that. Until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.